Hi, hello everybody, and welcome into That Sounds Gay. My name is Jer, and today's gay sound presented by Jesse is...
Oh,
Oh, that was a good one. It was very angelic in its own way.
thank you.
But like a non-Christian angelic. Like a very like secular, like demonic angel that doesn't exist like in a God type of way, you know?
Oh, love
Like a
it.
non-religious one.
Yeah. Here for that.
Yeah.
Holding space for that.
Holding space for non-religious angels. We are chatting more about Drag Race Espana Season 2, where I still have not had the ending spoiled yet. Fingers crossed. It has been 2 whole weeks now since I started on this journey. Been talking about it online. No one has spoiled anything for me.
Wow.
I feel quite blessed. Last week, we talked about some iconic Spanish women, including the pipe bomb that is Samantha Valentine's.
Not the pipe bomb.
The Pipe Bomb Mama. A crazy talent show, some gassy women, and now we're back to talk about some more iconic moments. We're doing the next 3. I think I just glitched right there. We're doing the next 3 episodes today. So we're starting out with episode 4 called The Drag Calling. And I don't know if they've done this the first 3 episodes or not, the first 2. But they top modeled out a wig. Did you notice that?
Wait.
When the shot opens up, it's a shot of like the corner of the workroom where all the wig heads are, and one disappears.
Oh.
Like literally like disappears, like you know when the top model girls would disappear slowly from the photo?
With that funky guitar music in the back. Yeah.
They top model out a wig, and I noticed every episode from this point on. Maybe they did in episode 2 and 3, and I didn't notice it. But a wig disappears. They like show it zooming away.
That's iconic. That's editors having fun.
Yes, I live, girl. I live. I wonder if they
Girl,
like
I
at
live.
the end of the season they were like, "Can you take your favorite wig and put it on here? We're just gonna do one continuous shot where we slowly remove each one of the wigs based on order."
Remove Hota's wig.
All right, cut the camera. Get ready to remove the wig for Venedita.
Is that Samantha Valentine's wig? All right, take that out.
So let's see. The room is pretty heartbroken about Samantha being gone, which I understand.
As we all are.
Marina, the farty bitch that she is, and Jariji have called a ceasefire, which I was watching that moment again and just thinking like, I truly would have written my name on lipstick and asked them to send me home. And been like, please eliminate me.
The original Susie Toot.
The Susie Toot of it all.
She is Suzanne too.
We have a musical challenge for this episode. I want to get into the logistics of it, but what I want to say, without looking at my notes, I'm going to get away from my notes for a minute, because who needs them? I loved this musical probably more than any musical that has happened up until now. Like, Maxima was good. I really liked the last one we talked about, Moulin Rouge. But this was so good because the Javis were directly involved.
Yeah.
I love how they cultivated the success of this musical
Yeah.
in a way that no other season has ever done.
Yeah.
And it felt really special. And I love that they were even involved in the casting process. This is their baby. And they know it better than anybody else. So why not have them be in charge of every single moment of it? And I got to thinking, like, what if Leland was sitting in the room with the girls while they were figuring out what they wanted to do?
Yeah.
And heard what they had to offer and thought, you would be much better in this role.
Yes.
You would be better here. I feel like it would create so much more of a balanced competition. And I think that's what I'm really responding to Espana, especially now they've hammered out the format quite well. I think that what Espana is doing is creating a genuine sense of competition.
Yeah.
That I'm, as a viewer, forgetting that it's a TV show. And I'm sure that there is production that's in all of this. I'm positive.
Yeah.
But I'm forgetting that it's there. Because, I mean, I love Canada's Drag Race. I'm a big fan. But you can see the production sometimes.
Yes.
Not as much as you see it on US. But you can see it a little bit. I forget that it's a thing. You know, it
Yeah.
just feels like a competition, and I love that.
It's one of those things where if there is like, production trickery happening, it's done so flawlessly that it feels like magic.
Yeah.
Just feels like TV magic. Like before you knew that all the boxes had adrenaline.
Yeah, exactly.
Naomi and Gia getting adrenaline is like, oh my gosh, that's so perfect, you know?
That's so Gia.
That's so Gia. Are you so Gia like me?
Are you serving adrenaline like me?
Are you serving Pangea like me?
Okay, so I want to jump right into this musical, if you don't mind, because I lived.
Girl, I'll live.
Venedita starting out the Whitney, followed by Jiriji, was evil incarnate, because it was like, if I have to live. It was so complete different that my mouth dropped. And I thought, there's no way that they listened to these women sing and thought, Venedita, then we'll do Jiriji.
Yeah.
Hota at the end doing that, like,
it's
Count Chocula voice. It was like, and I will always love you.
Crazy. It is like a fever dream of a musical for sure. Some crazy shit going down.
Crazy stuff. What have you seen any clips of the musical that this comes from that the Javi's made?
No.
Because I want to know why Whitney's here.
Yeah, so like I'm very uncultured in this aspect because I have no idea what they're adapting. So it's like, but it's also, because going back to what we've most recently seen as of this time of recording, we had Cher in the Wizard of Oz musical.
True.
So it's like, there's also like, my brain is so used to suspending like the source material tie-in sometimes where I'm like, anything that feels left of center, I'm like, some gay put this in.
Yeah,
I'm assuming
like it.
but but also it could very well be like this is either from it or it's like a twist on what's in the source material. Yes, practicing the new twist on the twist, of course. So I am uncultured, but I think the fever dreamness that it creates, not knowing what is being adapted from, kind of made it hilarious. Yeah. It felt like, for me, I felt like a weird, like, you fed AI Sound of Music and Moulin Rouge, and then like a
little bit of Hercules.
Yeah, I was gonna say something like like that's very Hercules.
Bless my soul, Herc was on a roll.
Yeah, if the what are they called, the Fates? If they went to 90210, but it was a nun school. It was crazy, but I loved it.
It was. I live, laugh, loved how Dovima and Inti both caught strays because the two girls go clubbing and the one is not lip syncing. And she's like, oh, sorry. She really loves Dovima. And I'm like, what?
What?
Do you know that Dovima was sitting at home like, now why am I in this?
She said, I did it for my sister because I didn't want to get in her way and I wanted her to shine.
And I want to take a moment here, if you'll allow me to.
Oh?
To apologize. Because, and this is something I don't normally do.
Oh? Who are we apologizing to?
I'm apologizing. Estrella, I know you're listening.
Oh my God.
Last week, I thought you were Booger Boots. I thought you were first out. I thought they cast you to go home early.
I tried to I didn't say much.
I know. You left it in.
Well, because I didn't want to like be like, what?
You didn't want to invalidate my feeling.
No, because I think that like she does have a journey. Well, okay, let me let you continue.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish my apology. And Estrella, thank you for listening to this podcast. I know you're a big fan since day one.
Yeah, I know. She didn't stop listening.
She never stopped.
She knew.
Even through what I said last week. I am sorry for accusing you of such things because I think that your name says it all. You're a star. You light up the night sky. you make me excited to watch another episode, and I am rooting for you harder than I've ever rooted for anybody. Probably until Perla will come around.
Wow.
In Canada 5. Because I was not feeling Perla at first, and then I was like, oh no, I'm rooting for this woman. And Estrella, I might be your number one fan right now. In this moment.
Period.
If I could retroactively go and sit back in 2022, I would be like totally flip-flopping in the YouTube video, being like every week, this is Estrella's game. She's it. Like, I like Sharonne a lot, and I still think she's going to win just based off how the competition is going. But like, Estrella is that girl, and this week she really freaking proved it. When she got on her knees and she was talking about the thing she did religiously, and then she started like doing the hand thing with the glory hole, and then was like, oh, sorry, nope, not that one.
I think she is one of those girlies where like you just have to let her unfold naturally through the season, because she like obviously like to see her performance to really get to know her. Mm-hmm. So you get to love her more as she continues to slay the performance challenges in the season. I mean, I told you, I fucking love her talent show.
Yeah.
I love that talent show. But no, she's a character
we don't see very often.
What's the like, she's like an anti-Jan. Where she's got the star power, like can do it allness of a Jan, the Swiss Army knifeness of a Jan. Yeah. But she's not a Jan archetype. She's like, if there's like a Rachel Berry, she's like a Cheerio, or like, well, she's not a Cheerio, but she's like I
know what you mean. Okay, so it's like the same.
She's like a different strain.
She's a theater kid.
Yeah, but she's a different strain.
Like if Chanel and Thorgy and Laganja are Jans.
Yes.
There's a Plasma archetype. Because like Plasma's really good at a lot of stuff, but she's not a Jan, but she's certainly a theater kid.
Okay, yes.
Because I don't think Plasma's a Jan. I don't think she is at all. I think Estrella is kind of in the same vein as those. Same strand.
So I don't know how to put it. She's just one of those people where it's like, yeah, it's theater kid, but you're also a theater kid that like, maybe you did improv in college. Like you
a theater kid who didn't go to Denny's at 3 a.m. and sang.
That literally just like gave me whiplash, because like not the Denny's at 3 a.m. No, she smoked weed instead with her friends.
Exactly. Behind the bowling alley.
Maybe she would be like, hey, do you want to go to the Denny's now that they're probably still at the Denny's. Do you want to go see if they're still there?
Totally.
But no, she's definitely like a different vein. Like she was in theater class, but she took a different route.
Right.
But she's definitely synthesized her skills.
Lexi, who
smoking meth at the strip club.
Yeah, at the strip club.
I love that she was just so casual telling that to her mom. Like I'm just jealous of her, because like she's me if I wasn't smoking meth.
I love
the candidness of it. It was so good.
Speaking of meth, when speaking of drugs,
I'm so nervous.
When Estrella like walked away from the glory hole moment and then went and like pretended to cut the cocaine on the table, I'm like, this bitch. Because I don't know what she was supposed to do, but a lot of what she did on the stage felt like improv.
Yeah.
Like it felt like she was just making stuff up as she was going.
It was probably like you could have done whatever at that moment.
Mm-hmm. Like whatever they blocked, she was like, I'm going to make something else happen here. And I got to say, this was like the least cringy musical of all time.
Yeah, it wasn't that hard of a watch. Even when it was weird, it wasn't cringy.
Like Hoto was fine. But like, I don't think she was bad. I don't think she was great, but I don't think she was bad. And I really loved Onyx. I thought her standing in that painting, scowling like the whole time. I lived.
I thought it was kind of funny. Also, every time you say Onyx, I think Onyx on Dicks from
Dragula.
Dragula. I'm like, wrong Onyx. Wrongix.
Is this the new problem name?
It
was the Veronica.
The new Electra.
It's the Electras. It's the Veronicas.
You know, the thing is with like this is like she's not doing bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's just people are doing really good.
Yeah.
When you have people like Sharonne and Estrella in this challenge, it's really hard to be an Onyx.
Yeah. Imagine if maybe Onyx was in season 1. I think she would have maybe done a lot better. I think she probably would have survived a lot more because like we got Estrella, Sharonne, Sethless, Jiriji. They're all just doing so good. They were not featuring Jiriji, by the way, this week. We'll get there in a moment.
No.
But I was so confused.
It's a rough week to be a Jiriji lover this week. It is really a really hard week to be a Jiriji stan.
So our runway, do you have anything you want to say before I'm like, we're blasting to the runway?
No, I think it's just like, at this point.
At the end of that day.
It's like, at the end of the day, it's just like a further solidification. Kind of like at this point, like the dolls are the dolls.
Mm-hmm.
Sharonne is like undoubtedly a professional. She's giving like that Bianca level of like, she can do it all.
The Carmen Farala.
Yeah, but you're also seeing like the younger girlies like Estrella and Marina really keep up with her, which I think is an interesting kind of dynamic.
Yeah.
But there's not that sense of like old versus young this season either in general, which I really enjoy.
Yeah.
There doesn't feel a lot of like these young, stupid cunts don't know. Or like this old bitch with her ugly ass face, you know?
Yeah.
God, there's like a gnat in here.
And that always happens with the older queens versus the younger ones. They're at each other's throats all the time.
Only other thought, the name Mary Corn
Maricon
was crazy.
Does it mean something that I'm not familiar with?
Well, because her name was Mary Corn.
Yeah.
Like Mary Corn.
What does that mean? Oh no.
Oh.
Is this a bad word?
Okay, also the way I open my phone. I open my phone and take out my entire... We'll get there.
Screen is a Snatch Game characterization from next episode.
The entire screen was her in that face kini.
Is Maricon the F word?
It's...
Oh my God, it's the F word, isn't it?
It's in a sundry, but I'm surprised you've never heard that.
I've heard it, but I just don't think it connected with what it was.
I used to watch a very specific man after dark, and he loved that word while he was getting it on. I was like, am I allowed to?
Whenever they say slurs in the films, I'm like...
In the films?
In the films, I'm like, oh.
Was that in the script?
Why do I have the weirdest...
Or was the director like, oh, shit. Oh my God.
Let's keep that.
Did they gag the cameraman? The cameraman's like, oh my God. I would love if you'd be watching a porn and then like something crazy happens. You hear the camera go like, oh,
a true
like gasp, or like, oh my God.
Have you ever seen? I think it's an SNL skit, and it's one with Emma Stone where she's playing the part of the woman that gets cheated on in the gay porn.
I don't think so.
Oh my God, it's like a joke of the In Front of My Salad, where she like comes into the studio and she's at her car and she's talking about how she's always wanted to be an actress, but she never could. And she finally got the role. And so she walks in and she's like, hi, I'm here to play the role of the wife in the gay porn. And the guy's like, oh yeah, all you got to do is just stand over there, say this line, and then you leave. We'll give you your meal voucher. And she's like, but who's my character? And so she goes through this like box of props and names herself Deirdre, and comes up with this story that she met this young lad at 18 and decided to bring him into her family and introduce him to her husband, who is slightly gay. And they got married and he was always there. So when her husband was having sex with her godson and she caught them, she has this rush of remembering her whole life, knowing this young lad. And she says, I forgive you. And the cameraman is just like, holding his camera, staring at her, and the director's like, just give her meal voucher and send her on her way. And I wonder how often that happens.
It's
all
giving.
that to say.
It's giving.
It's giving Maricon.
It's giving Mary Corn.
Where were we?
The runway, of course.
The runway is two looks in one. I would like to complain for a moment.
Do it.
I would like to complain. Two looks in one.
In
one means
two. In
one.
In.
Whiz.
In.
It's
Whiz.
It's the punctuated, bulleted word.
It's giving me convertible fashion.
Yes. I'm thinking about Tyra's look. Sorry to invoke her name. From season 2,
yeah.
Where like it was the long sleeve and then she rolled it up and then her cowl turned into wrist cuffs.
Detox, the blue and green, that peacock thing that became like 3 different silhouettes.
I feel like a 2-in-1 is something that doesn't leave crap on the floor.
It is a contained convertible garment.
Jada's in a couple of weeks from now. When it was the multi-look and she does all 4 of the seasons all in one and nothing's on the floor.
Yeah.
That is a multi-look in one. And half of these, more than half, Jurigi, Onyx, Holta, Sharonne, Sethless, Diamante, Estrella, all did reveals that left crap on the floor.
And I will say, these are a couple years ago, but at this point in 2025, eggs are done, tarps are done,
yes,
coats are done,
yes.
If you're revealing into a dress, the skirt better be in the bodice.
Yes. Like it rolls down.
Yeah.
Like the Reba one we made.
Here's your one chance, fancy.
That. Don't let me down. So like I was poisonally for me, para me, a little perturbed and bothered. Because I'm like, don't leave shit on the runway. That's not a 2-in-1.
Estrella.
All of them.
Yeah.
Especially
many
Estrella.
of them. Yeah. Well, because that's the thing. Is like, one, because if it's convertible, you can get away with a lack of through lines sometimes because it's all contained.
Yes.
Even if it's there's no like from point A to point B really present. Even if that's not the case, at least you didn't leave shit on the runway.
Yeah.
But to go from like one random thing to another random thing, and you just leave the first random thing on the runway, like that is, in my opinion, unforgivable.
As well for me. It's the same kind of, those big like car wash jackets that the older drag queens will come out in. And it looks like they could twirl and clean up a car. And then they take that off and there's a slinky bodysuit underneath and they just leave the crap on the floor. It's like that. It's just not impressive to me anymore. I'm like, oh my God, a big thing, a reveal dress.
Yeah.
And that's not what the category is. And I also don't like reveal runways anyway. I want to know what your thoughts were specifically about Diamante's choice to become a chocolate egg into a race car. I want to know your thoughts on that.
Crazy.
Right?
Diamante is many things, but she's not a runway killer, I will say.
No, she's not.
But she's she really goes for it on the runway.
Yeah,
though.
Sure. She really does.
Like, not any of them looked good.
No, not a one.
Because it went from like Humpty Dumpty to like a brown and yellow, like sewing challenge look to Candyland wrestling singlet.
Candyland is very accurate.
But the wheels on the hips was crazy.
The wheels on her hips go round and round. Yeah, she looks quite messy.
Also, I can't remember, did she have braids? Is that why her hair looks so short? Because sometimes she has the braids, so her hair is very like fitted. Or is that the right word? It's very close.
Tight.
It's very tight, yes. But she needed volume up top. Because like if she had like 2 like puffs or 2 like what's the word, like symmetrical things to mirror the wheels on her hips, whatever those are, or like something, or like Mickey Mouse ears a la Susie 2, I don't know.
The thing for me, and drag can be whatever, and I'm not gatekeeping drag here, but I do think that there is a little bit of a body fantasy you have to provide in order to create an illusion. And I feel like what Diamante's biggest problem is that she doesn't pad at all. She doesn't corset. So like this look, she is just a cylindrical line. And then there's all of this tightness up top that it doesn't create any type of shape, and it all just gets kind of muddled.
Yeah.
And then these big giant wheels on the hips, it's distracting.
No, I get what you
I think we've talked about her for too long. I want to give props specifically to what I really loved, which was Benedita. I kind of lived for this weird little troll doll.
With the belly button?
With the belly button. I lived. Because if I remember right, she didn't leave any crap on the floor.
It was the belly button was so crazy. The little belly really cutout.
It was overall just kind of a throwaway runway, though.
Okay, but do you know who looked so good? Like Sharonne. In the mug? Sharonne.
Sharonne could cut glass with that mug.
Sharonne's mug this episode was actually crazy.
Yes.
Because, like, it's not like she's, like... I mean, she's beautiful, but it's not like she's, like, beauty, like, stunner, like... look queen.
Sharonne stuns the new photo.
And like and obviously the look isn't like necessarily fashion forward, but it's very pretty drag queen look. Yeah. But like the makeup this episode
in the challenge and on the runway were both stunner.
Like actually crazy because she always paints like she's just always a very like classic beautiful woman.
I mean, this look right here where she is just the most stunning Spanish woman that's ever existed.
Exactly.
In history.
It's something about like the brow's a little contour, everything's a little lighter, like that blonde, the way she like washed herself out a little bit,
the white on the lip,
to like compensate for the white blonde, like because usually her features are darker to compensate because she's gorgeous as a dark-haired beauty. I love it. I like the black hair on her, but the way she painted herself differently, she highlighted herself differently, the brow's a little contour, the lighter lip, everything to compensate for this like silver gray hair.
Yeah.
Damn.
It was it.
Yeah, she really did that.
She really did the thing. I did not really live for Seth Less's weird like baby growing up, getting married, wedding night. I thought it was so weird.
Felt like a weird like dark side parallel to Derek Barry's
Ariel.
The Ariel into the conception.
Oh my god. Get the Derek Barry off the TV.
Get that Derek Barry off my TV.
Supreme is in the top. What?
Supreme is deluxe.
They put that. Sharonne is in the top. And she's like clearly in her own lane. Marina's in the top, which I was a little bit surprised by.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought she was okay.
She was giving very serviceable ingenue. And I actually did like her. I really liked her runway.
Yeah, her runway. I mean, she's always pretty on the runway.
Yeah, she's a fun girl.
And Estrella was talking about how she loved Química o Física. That's the TV show.
Yes.
She was talking about that and how that's when she came out while watching them. And
Crazy.
Big Javi is sobbing. And I'm like, oh, she got it. As soon as she started talking. But I mean, you could tell by the way that Javi was looking at her and the way that he was just like entranced by this woman. I'm like, oh, he's feeling it. Can I say for the bottoms, Onyx was there just by default. Jurigi was given a lot of critiques about how she just wasn't present.
Yeah.
I want to say, and I'm not trying to be an apologist, even though I'm already obsessed with this woman. I think Jurigi is an up-close beauty. I don't think Jurigi is a stage girly. Yeah. She is someone that, like, when the camera zoomed in on her, her eyebrows moving, and she's like cutting a look, and then her eyes kind of soften and kind of squint.
It's a little more cabaret.
Yeah.
Small rooms.
Like right up. Small rooms. Very that. You have to
working the audience.
Her.
Yeah.
I don't think she knows how to present big for the stage.
Yeah. And so that's the thing where it's like, I do think that they usually do a really good job with critiques, but that would have been a moment where I would have appreciated a critique of like, you need to translate your performance style better to larger audiences or farther away audiences. And she could have been low safe.
Yeah.
But also, she did do bad. Because I also don't think Onyx did worse than her. But Onyx looked bad. Onyx looked like...
Say it. You know you want to.
La Llorona in space.
Oh my God.
Like you're celestial right. La Llorona?
Celestial evil.
Yeah.
Celestial evil tea.
Like Bloody Mary on another planet.
I could see that.
Like say her name 3 times in the spaceship and like she...
And you're dead.
Yeah.
I see that. Hota and Jiriji are the bottom. To, I hope I wrote this right. Baloncesto? I thought it was like kind of messy. Clothes were everywhere. Wigs were flying.
Well, and so I feel like also this was very much a punctuation to the critique that Hota was getting, which was you are very ambitious and you're very much like wanting to go for it. And we love that. But you are messy and unpolished a little bit and you need to tighten it up and clean it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And she failed to do that in the lip sync. And I feel like that was kind of like nail in the coffin.
I would agree with that. So I was kind of gagged that Hota didn't win
the season.
I thought she was going to win the whole season over Sharonne. I was really sure. After last week, you convinced me. I was like, she's it.
I said what I said. I just like, she like does really like.
She works you out.
She holds a pocket in my brain. It's the name. It's the
I know exactly what
the
it
name.
is.
It's the entrance. It's the talent show. Like
yeah. I already know it.
I mean, all of the girls in season 2. To be fair, even Marisa Prisa. Marisa, hi girlie. Thanks for listening. We love you. Like I kind of like hold space for all of them in their own way, just because this is such a cast. But yeah,
it really is.
Also, like, it's one of those names, Hota Kara Hota. Same like, etc., etc. I love etc. just as much as I love etc's name.
I feel that. If it's got a good way that it comes out of your mouth, the way that your tongue wraps around it, I get that.
I can't wait till we get to Sweden and we get to talk about Antonina Nutshell.
Antonina Nutshell. What a name that is. I just know that there's someone named Obama in one of the other seasons. I know about this diva, but I don't know anything else. I just know the name. And I'm like, Obama.
Diva Obama.
And I know there's someone named Arizona in the Philippines.
Arizona Brandy.
Yeah.
I love Arizona Brandy. She eats her contacts.
Stop. Okay, so we move into episode 5, the Snatch Game, where I wrote in my notes, oh God.
Oh God.
I did appreciate at the beginning of the episode, they do this little in memoriam for an actress that passed away that was perceived and portrayed in the Snatch Game. And they said, we couldn't edit this out, but we love her and we respect her work. And we hope that she's resting peacefully.
Oh, yeah. It's because it's who Sharonne does,
Sharonne
right?
does, exactly.
I think it's because I think she does portray her a little offensively. But, I mean, it's all right. She no.
Oh.
I was going to say, it's all right. She didn't see it.
Oh. Well, she just flipped over wherever she's at and sent down a little curse down here. We're going to get diarrhea tonight. Onyx is getting in her head, and this is really going to follow her till the end of the episode. And I think this troubles me because I like Onyx a lot, and I really like their drag. And it saddens me that I think this moment sniped them out, them getting in their head way too much.
Yeah.
They do this chaotic mini challenge where they have to recite a poem after only learning it for 20 minutes while getting dressed. And they're like getting blown by a leaf blower and shit's being thrown at them, which sounds fun to me. And the only standout to me about this whole thing was the tiny little pit crew man with the fat ass and the pencil mustache.
God.
I wanted him to
Espana's
slap
pit
me.
crew.
Yeah. Espana's pit crew. And then that one big giant buff dude from Italia.
Yeah.
I dream about that man.
It's the European pit crews for me.
Mm-hmm.
European pit crews are usually, well, no, all pit crews, but like I would say like Espana, Philippines.
Oh.
Everything I've seen of Mexico's pit crew,
I believe that.
I'm like, whoa. I feel like that's probably that's my trinity. I'm locking it in.
Yeah. I don't know what mine is yet because I haven't seen them all.
Although also those Thailand men.
The men from Thailand, the pit crew from Thailand too, were hot.
The men from Thailand are giving like, I feel like I should be on a chaise lounge and you're fanning me in like gold trunks, and like feed me grapes.
There's one pit crew member that they had in Thailand 3 who I don't think knew what he was getting himself into, because he legit stood like the Queen's Guard the whole time. He was like holding his little bowl of whatever it was he was supposed to hold and literally was like looking off into the corner of the room and disassociating. And just wasn't looking at the queens at all. Like, he had legitimately no clue what he was doing out there. Where the other pit crew member was, like, giggling and having a good time and, like, engaging with the girls.
He's like, what is this gig?
Right. Like, what did I get hired here to do? They put me in these Speedos and told me to stand out here, and I'm very confused. Max, I'm
it's like,
very uncomfortable.
I love the range of pit crew between, like, straight guy just here to have fun, nervous, the dudes with like semis in their underwear, like having the time of their lives around all these queens.
Yeah.
Like, I love
that are
it.
C-ringed up.
Yeah. Literally just like waiting.
Yeah. I live. Onyx wins, gets 1,000 euros worth of sex toys.
Well, hey, beautiful. Something really for her on the way out.
And our maxi is Snatch Game. Diamante wants to do RuPaul, and I just immediately knew that this was a bad idea, and I was like, this is not. Okay. This is going to be demonic.
As like not a RuPaul, like as like someone who enjoys a little bit of RuPaul cynicism, I loved her on paper, the idea of portraying RuPaul doing really broken Spanish. Like, hola, ¿cómo estás?
Right.
Like, something about that is kind of hilarious to me.
Yeah.
Furthermore, her look choice was
insane.
Hilarious. Kind of my favorite. I don't know. Like, it wasn't good, but it was iconic.
It was. I almost wanted to, like, reach across the room and, like, slap you on the arm. Because, speaking of RuPaul, did you watch the Drag Race Vegas 1000th show?
I have not watched it yet. I'm going to watch it probably this week.
It's really cute.
I wanted to give it some time because, I just saw that show. Except it's different girlies. Because I think Jada's there.
Yes. Jada, Morphine, Plain, Ginger.
So it's everyone that was there except when I saw it was Derek instead of Jada.
Derek and Kennedy are doing little pop-ups. Like, we didn't get the rights for this song, so we're here to talk to you.
Oh,
they got those little pop-ups.
Cute.
Like a little Rose Parade type situation. The reason I bring it up, at the beginning of the special, they talk about RuPaul's Drag Race and how its impact around the world. Do you want to know what RuPaul impersonator they showed in like the literal opening clip? You will not guess, so I'm just going to tell you. M. Stranger Fox. Her workroom walk-in where she said, Shantae, you stay.
What the fuck?
We just brought up M. Stranger Fox like 2 weeks ago.
M. Stranger Things Fox.
M. Stranger Things Fox.
M. Michael Stranger Things Fox.
Yes.
Michael J. Stranger Things Fox.
They showed that bitch in like literally the opening title card about RuPaul being all around the world.
It's giving when you watch the international seasons and it's like a random B-roll from season 6, yes. But like the reverse. You watch the US seasons and it's like clips from like Thailand and you're like, what the fuck? What is this?
The clip is like, it's opening up for 18 and they're like, RuPaul's Drag Race is all over the world and it's just Thailand to
It's Holland the musical 1. When she goes down the rail. It's very much giving like when what are those called? The recap edits, when it's like the door opens and
Bitches are back.
it's like a random clip of something, but it's her like huh sliding down that rail. That's like probably my favorite part of the entire season.
Oh, it's so good. It's iconic. But yeah, anyway, RuPaul impersonators. I was gagged. Yes, I was legitimately gagged.
Michael J. Stranger Things
Michael
Fox.
J. M. Stranger Fox. M. Stranger Things Fox. Back to the challenge. Onyx and Jiriji both want to do the same character. And I loved how Supreme stepped in to be like, okay, let's talk about this. Let's be adults.
Yeah.
Who would do better in this? And help deliberate this? RuPaul could never.
Right.
How is Supreme the best host of all of them? I'm sure that I'll like some of the other ones as I meet them, but so far, Supreme is it.
RuPaul would just want them to fight.
Yeah, and would just let them do the same character. Or Brooke would let them do the same character.
True. Yeah. May the best woman win.
So, oh, sorry.
Oh, no.
I was going to say, okay, so our characters, if we want to talk about them really quick.
Do it.
Sharonne is doing Veronica Forqué. She gives a little coconut shot to Jiriji. They're like trying to get Jiriji drunk the whole time, and then her drinking the whole time. I'm like, you are totally playing this like a little auntie.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's okay. Take another shot. It's fine.
No, she was hilarious.
The big teeth was funny.
The Bette Midler and Hocus Pocus teeth was crazy.
It was totally Bette Midler, Hocus Pocus. Jiriji was someone called Valencia's neighbor. I don't know who this woman was, but she reminded me of like a little abuela who's like just rummaging through her purse and she's got everything. Well, she had like an apple. She had Christmas decor. She put the lights on her head and lit them up. And I was just sitting there like tip-tapping.
It was somewhere between camp and performance art,
yes.
But I loved it.
It was soft sculpture.
Yeah, she was doing soft sculpture live. The top tier of drag. We're seeing it right now.
Venedita was doing someone named Miguel Bose. I thought the voice was funny, but I didn't know the character, so. But I still thought it was good.
I still thought it was good as well, and I don't always love the male characters, but I feel like Venedita doing a male character kind of made sense with the beard and like.
That like brassy voice where it was like down here the whole time.
Yeah, I liked it. Yeah, she committed to the character.
Onyx was Juana La Loca. I don't have any knowledge base for this person, but I think she was a little too committed to the historical accuracy of it. And there's always the problem when people do someone from history and not a real celebrity that people know, is that I think they get a little too focused on, well, I have to be the character.
Yeah.
And I don't think they explore what could be funny about that character. And so I think it was a little too zeroed in, not really broad enough for anything else to be incorporated in.
But also, like, why did she look like Lady Camden as Shakespeare?
I thought the same thing.
It was giving Lady Camden Shakespeare.
It really was. She looked so soft this entire week, though. Even on the runway. Normally, Onyx is pretty severe, so it was kind of nice to know that she could do something else. But
yeah, she's a pretty girl.
She's very pretty. Marina was doing an Italian woman named Antonio Dallate. And I just want to say, I think language is so cool that we have gotten to hear so many different languages around the world. Because while she was talking, I'm like, oh, I recognize some of these words. I couldn't tell you one of them, like cosa maybe. And I just remember hearing Electra saying this word all the time. That sounded like cosa. And I'm like, I don't know what she's saying, but girl, I am living.
Girl, I am living.
I thought she was decently funny. Sethless was doing Carmen Lohana. I didn't write anything down about this character because I was just kind of meh about it.
She looks like Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh, no.
She looks like she holds Republican office.
She looks like a Republican. I thought her other character choice would have been a lot funnier with that high-pitched nasally voice that she wanted
because
to do.
like Sethless is funny as fuck. And I think it's like she just needs to channel it through the right channels.
I would agree. Should we talk about Diamante's masked look from the season 12 reunion? Tell me your thoughts.
You know, I was curious when she said she was going to do RuPaul.
I'm like, what is
because
it
I'm
be?
like, Diamante is like, I think even she would agree that like the RuPaul's aesthetic is not hers.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of like is one of those queens where she's sort of interwoven her athleticism into her drag in a way that works for her. So I wasn't imagining her like high femme, like drag race era RuPaul.
Mm-hmm.
But I was not expecting the polka dot face kini with the like travel pillow around the neck. It was so crazy. With like I feel like she deepened her voice for this.
She totally did. It went nowhere at all. The look was insane. So just the sight gag made me giggle, but then there was no payout. She mentioned being able to speak English as well. And I'm like, I think this is 3 girls this season that can speak English.
Yeah.
Jiriji, Diamante, and Sharonne.
They need to make sure they make it clear for their
global
for their
call.
All-Stars call. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hell, I think they could easily pull Diamante in for a Versus the World. I could see RuPaul connecting with Diamante. That athleticism that you brought up, I think that is something that doesn't get seen a lot in front of Ru's eyes. So when queens come out that are a little more on the athletic side and do more athletic looking drag, like I think Jax is a great example of that. Because, I mean, Jax's looks were kind of sporty through the season. And I think Ru connected with that in a way that kind of kept Jax around for a while.
Yeah.
It didn't help her a ton. But I mean, it at least was something I think that Ru found interesting and compelling to be like, I want to know what this is about. Same with Aura. Aura's someone who's very sporty with her looks as well. I think Ru vibed with that. And so I think Diamante would be someone that Ru would like.
Yeah.
And then Estrella was Paquita Salas. And I wrote down that it was Lawrence levels of unfunny. I was expecting Estrella to be so good. And then she just was talking and saying stuff. And it never went anywhere. And I kept thinking, where are the jokes? Where are the jokes?
Hurts.
I mentioned in the Rusical how the season 1 girls got some shout outs. Carmen Farala gets a shout out in this one. They ask a question about her.
Yeah.
That she ran out of her spray tan. So what did she use? And Poopy caught a stray. And the guest was like, oh, she used Poopy's diarrhea. And I thought, God damn, all these girls are just getting strays left and right this season.
Not Poopy's poopy.
Not Poopy's poopy. Dovima also got a question, so second call out this season.
Dovima lives rent free in these girls' minds.
Yes. I really love how they celebrate past contestants. Regular Drag Race could never.
And not just like the winner, like the Vanjie of it all. Like they'll reference anyone.
Oh yeah, the famous winner Vanjie.
Winners like Vanjie.
Winners like Serena Chacha.
This is revisionism.
Famous winners like Kimora Black.
Please.
I am scrolling my notes. I realized here in this moment, and I'm trying to figure out how to say this. Why Jiriji sounds strange to me. Because, I mean, I understand Mexican Spanish. And so, incidentally, I can understand Spain Spanish because there's slight differences between them. Yeah. Structurally, sound, phonetically. And I can understand little bits and pieces of what they're saying every now and again. I'll be like, oh, I kind of understand what that phrase is. And every time Jiriji talks, I'm always like, why do you sound so strange to my ear? I can't tell what it is. And even the girls have mentioned it too. In the first couple episodes, they couldn't understand her. And I'm like, they're connecting with something that I don't get. Jiriji has a French accent. One of the girls mentions it in this episode. I don't remember who said it, but they mentioned her French accent. And I'm like, that is freaking what it is. It's exactly why every time she speaks, I'm like, something is just like slightly ticking in my brain where I'm like, I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like in the way that I can understand what the other girls are saying. And again, going back to what I said a few minutes ago, language is cool.
Language is cool. Language is wild. I think the international seasons, we also are exposed to so much more um, the melting pot of it all.
Regional dialects.
Yeah, well, especially because like these international seasons also include a much like larger pool of people because it's like, I mean, obviously we have people from across the states here, but like, for instance, like Drag Race Germany has Austrians and like there are different people from different countries on Sweden and there are people from different countries on Holland. So it's like, it just is interesting to see like the so many different backgrounds that come together to compete on these international seasons.
Yeah.
But then also as someone who doesn't fully know all of the culture of Spanish speaking countries, like you were kind of mentioning, it's cool to hear like the different dialects, the different accents, the different like cities these people come from and stuff like that. Like super interesting.
In a way that's similar that maybe more people would be able to connect with that are listening at home. It's like tuning into Drag Race UK where we speak English and we understand what they're saying, but then contestants like Lawrence sometimes sound a little like funny and it's like, I don't know what you just said.
Yeah.
Compared to someone like Bimini or someone like Tace, the accents are just so slightly different that sometimes a word said by one contestant will sound different from somebody else's mouth. And it's similar to that. I think language is just really cool.
I agree.
I think it's fun. But yeah, I wrote it down because I was like, I've been wondering all season why I just could not quite understand when Gigi would say something. I'm like, I know this word, but why does it sound strange?
Yeah, something's off.
Yeah. Not strange as in like bad, just like my ear is not used to it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like it tickles it in a funny way.
Yeah. Anna Locking is in drag this week. That big 60s hair and the big white under eye. Miss Anna Locking has decided to slay my bussy in a way that I didn't think any of the Michelle characters would ever. Like, Kiara came out a couple times.
Yes. With her little finger, the little finger click. I love her so much.
Kiara came out a couple times in Italia with her big headpieces and just like looked very CUNTY. And then we got Miss Anna Locking out here in full drag. And I'm like, Miss Mama is gagging me. I love her.
No, like when I tell you, like we are not ever ready for the Anna Locking of it all.
No.
But she's also like a legit like designer from what I understand. Like she really sews and like understands fashion, but also like really like she's like the best kind of fag hag. Like she like really is one, but so like appreciative and reverent and like I think I showed you, but like this was I think it was season 4. They do a night of 1,000 Anna Lokings, but like her appreciation was just like, thank you for like, you could make your art a tribute to anyone or about anything. And you choose to spend your time, energy, and resources to honor me. And like, that's huge. So it's like, she just appreciates drag so much and like appreciates that. And yeah, obsessed.
Me too. Our main category this week is Spanish dolls. Did you have any particular standouts? Because mine was fully Venedita's sex doll with the big tag on it. And it just looked fetishy and interesting in a way that I wasn't expecting from her.
Yeah.
It was very out of her box.
Agreed. I really liked hers. I really like... You know, it's not a doll. Something about Marina's is so interesting to me, but I'm like, is this a doll or is this just like a Mars Attacks like David Bowie like club? Like, is this a doll?
Whose very doll? Ziggy Stardust.
Whose doll is this?
Who does she belong to?
Onyx
the movable muff that could go to the pits if you wanted to.
Not the movable muff.
That's what it was.
Hashtag movable muff. Onyx is interesting because it's, you know, it's a different look for Onyx, but
totally.
She will later see a different interpretation of this look.
In this season?
No.
Oh, okay. Later on down the road.
Later in Espana.
I can't wait to see how this turns out. I thought she looked so pretty. I really enjoyed this
I
look.
mean, yeah. And it was one of those things where I was like, oh, hate to see you leave looking so cute.
So snatched.
Yeah, just like a sad, pretty girl.
Yeah, a very sad, pretty Spanish woman.
Little doll.
Yeah. I on it like last week I wasn't particularly gagged. These last 2 weeks
I was whelmed by this runway.
Yeah. Our tops are Sharonne, who I'm writing down at this point. I think she's doing so well that it's leaving to when she finally isn't great at something. It's going to really show, I fear.
Yeah.
We've got Jarigi in the top, which is so good from last week.
Yes.
And Benedita in the top. I thought Benedita could have won based off the runway. So I was kind of shocked that Sharonne won it. Just like a little bit. I'm like, I really felt like it could have been Benedita's week.
To me, it felt like because Estrella obviously slayed last week, but Sharonne also could have won last week. Sharonne did so good in the Rusical alongside Estrella.
Right.
It kind of felt like, well, damn. Let's
gotta give her that consolation.
Yeah,
win.
we gotta recognize Sharonne's Sharoning hard.
Yeah. It was the Lanesha effect. Yes. You did so good week 1, but we didn't give it to you. So you're doing good, so we'll give it to you in week 2. Our bottoms are Diamante, Sethless, and Onyx. And they make Diamante and Onyx lip sync, which felt so bad because I thought, this is a setup.
Yeah.
There's no way that anyone...
It's a trap!
It's a trap! And it was very clear that they were not about to lose Diamante because I think they like her. Because I think there was valid enough reason to put Sethless down there and make them battle, and Diamante probably would have been out. Yeah. But maybe they were worried that Diamante would snipe out Sethless.
Yeah.
And the song is Arasando. So I've been doing these YouTube videos that are the Drag Race sim. And I've been just doing random people in these.
Uh-huh.
I could not recall who specifically it was that had to lip sync to this. But in the Drag Race sim, I think it made Cedergine and oh my god, what is her name? Kita Minaj, maybe? No, not Kita. It's another Holland girl. My Little Pony. It was one of the two Pony. Holland girls. And I was doing the video and I was like, Arasando, what is this song? And I pulled it up and I was like, popping my bus to this. It was a good song. But I'm like, Cedergine to this Spanish song. Like the Drag Race sim really needs to get
they need to pull it together.
And I mean, it kind of felt built for Diamante, I'm not gonna lie.
I mean,
can I say something?
Say it.
It kept cutting to the other girls.
Okay, I hate. No, when it either cuts to the girls in the back or the judges panel.
It gave 2 different girls giving confessionals about the song, and it was about how Onyx was keeping up.
Or it's like, are we filling time? Like, what are we not showing?
I wonder the same thing. It was very Jinx Monet. It was like, are you trying to hide that Onyx really slayed it? Because to me, para mí, this was like Ugasio doing pussy. I was like, oh, Onyx is really doing it.
Yeah.
The few seconds that it would linger on her, I was like, oh, this is her. She got it.
She was doing, the camera was not showing. She was doing gravity-defying moves.
I believe it. And then it had to flash to the other girls to ignore it.
She was doing triple handspring. She was doing backflips, jumps into splits. And they were just too scared to show it.
I would believe that. Because I was so confused why it was cutting so severely. 2 separate talking heads from other girls.
It's kind of, it's so funny because a lot of times we don't know the song, but it's interesting when you do know the song and you're like, whoa, why is the lip sync starting in the second verse? What have we not seen so far? When you actually know the song, you know how like severely they're cutting around the song.
Yeah.
Like it makes me wonder, like, to know the actual original song, like, did it jump from like, because sometimes you're watching a song, it's like, okay, this was 30 seconds of the song. Now we're 2.5 minutes in the song. Now we're 4 minutes in the song.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it's over.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, what's happening in these interim moments that we're not seeing?
It had to have either been so bad that they were like, we can't show this, or it supported somebody else winning that was actually eliminated that day. I feel like this was pretty egregious in a lot of those middle seasons, like 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of those were pretty egregious of cutting out giant chunks of something.
Big old chunks.
Big old chunks. Onyx is eliminated, which was kind of sad to see.
It was very sad. The energy around it felt sad. I think Onyx was really so cool this season, and she personally, at least for me, she was someone where I feel like you felt compelled to root for.
Yeah.
Because like she was aesthetically a front runner, but like performance wise, kind of an underdog. Because this is a season of like crazy performers.
Titans.
And so it's like she happens to be like a look titan, but that's not really getting her far this season.
Totally. I think, again, she probably would have been better in season 1.
I mean, yeah. Or even like, we haven't gone there, but next season, like even in season 3, I think she would have made an impact.
I heard season 3 is a lot of design challenges.
It is. It's a lot of interesting.
She would have, and then for her to get caught before the ball, we were really robbed. So shall we talk about that? Episode 6, the Spanish ball?
Let us, because I mean, I know you mentioned you like it. I actually do think this is a really cool ball.
It is.
Such a clean, through-lined ball.
Yeah.
That, like, the U.S. can never.
I love that it was past, present, future, which I feel like we've done in other international seasons, but it was zeroed in on something a little more specific so that it wasn't just do something from the past and then we get a prehistoric look and then a Marie Antoinette and then a gladiator.
Yeah.
You know, it zeroed in on the 10th century. Do it from here and only from here. 20th. Do it only from there. Future, 30th. I really
10, 20,
like that.
30.
Yeah.
No,
like
I
that a
agree.
lot. I thought one interesting little storyline that didn't get followed through this episode, which it was kind of unsatisfying to me, was the setup of Marina and Diamante. Because at the beginning of the episode, they've got some tension. And Marina is kind of frustrated that Diamante made it through the lip sync by doing the watermelon technique. And she said that's when you just say stuff to fill in the time. And Diamante's sort of like, well, I'm still here, so they clearly liked it. And looking back on the lip sync, I'm like, yeah, Diamante really didn't know a lot of those words where Onyx did.
Yeah.
And I'm like, maybe that's why they kept cutting away, because Onyx knew all of them and the editors knew that Diamante was getting scooted through. And so like Marina's really frustrated, and Marina and Onyx and Diamante are both in the bottom 3, but they keep Marina safe. And I'm like, I wish that you had made them lip sync.
I would have loved to see Marina and Diamante lip sync.
Yeah, and see the storyline finish.
Yeah.
Because it's always kind of unsatisfying when they tee up something and then don't go anywhere with it. Like famous Lawrence and Ellie. They set up that whole fight during the comedy challenge, and then they made them safe.
Yeah, and then they kind of like chicken out of it.
Yeah, and then they were like, oh wait, Taste and Ahura, who had no story.
Yeah.
They're the bottom. I just wish that they would follow through on things. So we did not get a ball last season because it was folded into the Snatch Game. And I gotta say, I live for a mid-sized ball.
Agreed.
Don't like when they're these 11, 12 queen group balls, or the 14, which was too much.
I don't like a top of the season ball, but I also don't like a ball with only 4 of them.
Yeah.
I think like we do a sewing challenge, a singular look sewing challenge when it's all the girlies.
Yes.
And then we do a ball, either midway or smaller in the group.
I'm into that.
And then either like another singular sewing challenge or like a la like season 7 where it's like one sewn look, one other prepared look or something like that. Like just a little extra, a cake ball, something like that.
I would agree. I like sewing challenges a lot. I think it tests their ability to show their aesthetic in a way that maybe their package isn't able to do, or maybe that they didn't prepare. This riffs off of the Canada 1 challenge, the paper, metal, plastic, which I love to see again. More deep cuts
That's
from
so
Drag
true.
Race.
It's all connected.
Come on, podcast hosting. Me getting my notes together this week. I saw some really great materials. What would you have wanted to work with from this bunch? Because when we talked about Canada 1, I think you and I both agreed that the plastic and the paper materials were garbage.
Yeah.
But the metal was kind of sickening what they provided to them.
Yeah.
With this one, it was like, I kind of vibed with the plastic. There was some really cute material in plastic.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I'm not great with paper, but I think paper would be so fun. I mean, we'll get to it, but I think I loved how Sethless approached it.
The cardboard boxes.
Yes. But just like approaching like really like our perception of those textiles more than like how the textiles look. Like equating like paper, like classic like letter, like everything written out, and then like metal, like you're thinking like gadgetry, like that kind of gadgetandra.
I love Supreme getting on the ground.
Inspector Gadgetandra.
Go gadgetandra. What? I don't know what the fuck I just said. No, I glitched. My brain went zzz. It's time to go, sleepy. Kenya Michaels. Do you remember? It's time for a sleepy.
I hate it.
Sorry, I watched all the Snatch Games recently, and that bothered me a lot. I love Supreme getting on the ground to touch their materials, interact with them, tell them like you can manipulate this way, you can utilize this way. Again, RuPaul could never.
No, she's so invested. I feel like I don't know. It almost feels like because it's almost like she's the rep for them. It's almost like these are my gals. I want to make sure my gals are serving. And like, so I feel that level of investment with her of like, she wants to make sure that like her children are like doing their best, like, and showing their best on this stage for everyone.
Yeah, I love Supreme a lot. We haven't talked about it this whole season, but they've been talking about Crash Cosmetics every single week. The episode opens with her saying, the prize package is this from Crash Cosmetics, and this prize, this much money. And then they all clap, and I'm like, interesting that they have to do this every episode.
Right? Like, what's happening?
So we go to the runway, and I need to talk about Anna looking. I saved this in my notes.
Oh my God.
The mullet look, and this, is that taffeta? Is that what that is?
It could be.
It
very well could be.
Hot, this like pleated taffeta moment, the mini skirt, and this hot little dress. And then the red makeup. God, the freaking blush all over there. This woman is seriously doing drag more than Supreme is doing.
No, I love how into it she goes. Like she gives experimental, she gives fun, she gives weird.
She likes
I
to
love
party.
like she's not afraid to look like weird.
Yeah.
Like, oh gosh, she's so cool.
I must ask, and we talked about this before. Girl, what the hell was Theresa May doing here?
For the ball.
Theresa May, famous owl story.
I was literally gonna. The owl was past, present, and future mama.
In the past, a man finished in her eye. And so in the present, she had to go out into the world and find safety. So in the future, the owl became her friend. It's all coming back to me now. Ocarina of Time. She did bad in her ball, and then she did bad in the Versus the World ball in like a year from now. And I was just so gagged. I'm like, she could have been here for the musical. She could have been here for the acting challenge. Teresa could have been here for so many other things.
She won her girl group.
Yeah, she could have been here for the entire musical.
Yeah.
I'm like, why is Theresa May here?
And it's funny because she is gorgeous. Like that's the thing about her too, is like I love her prepared looks, and she is a beautiful woman. But design challenges are not her thing.
And her critiquing clothes, I'm like, I don't think Teresa should be doing that.
Miss May.
But I live for her being here. They sung Pussy is Like a Peach. One of the girls did. I think it was
My
Estrella.
pussy is like a peach.
And I love that Canada and Espana so far. I'm sure the other seasons do it too, but they allow the queens on the panel.
Right. But I love Espana basically like, you speak Spanish?
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Come on in.
It's so cute. I love it.
I think they were the first ones to do it because they had Envy last season.
They had Envy last season. And that's the thing is it's like, it's not just like alumna.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like Canada's is fascinating because it's like either like you're an icon or you're related to Brooke in some way.
Mm-hmm.
But like with Espana, it's just like, hey, are you a Spanish speaking queen with a strong like Spanish like connection to your drag? Come on. Like, don't care where you're from. Germany, Holland, UK? Come on.
I don't know why, but something that unlocked was the way you said that. I love a time travel movie with a strong female lead. I don't know why that unlocked.
My monkey's made you this potato salad.
Should we talk about these looks? Let's talk about the 10th century. Wait, hold on. Do we want to talk about these as a whole? A whole package? Do we want to talk about them individually? We can do it as a whole package.
Yeah, let's do a whole package. Because honestly, I feel like there's not a through line in any of the centuries. Like, none of the 10th century looks feel the same. None of the, like, you know what I mean?
There's like a small, slight one. Like, Hota was doing architecture.
Hota?
My brain short-circuited. She looked... Does this not
Our
look like
winner,
Hota?
Hota Carahota.
I want her here. Does this not look like a Hota look?
Which one?
All of them.
Well, I was
These
gonna
look
say
like Hota
Sharonne's giving.
Oh, I was looking at Diamante.
Oh, I was looking at Sharonne because what Sharonne's 10th century look looks like what Hota got eliminated in.
Oh my god, Diamante was doing an architecture storyline, and that was her thing through the whole thing. I really liked the mosque look in number 1. I didn't really get architecture in the second one. And the third one, I think she went a little too literal with it. And by a little, I mean a lot. It was a little too much.
Yeah, the third one's giving me a little too design challenge-y. The second one, I like the idea of it for her, but I feel like certain details just need to be ironed out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because it does feel like a bit of a departure from the usual Diamante vibe.
Yeah.
That it does feel a little bit like maybe she's not 100% comfortable in all of these details.
Yeah, and all of these seem so outside of her aesthetic.
Yeah.
And I feel like we were really robbed of Onyx not being here.
Now, catch that tea.
Sorry to this woman. We have Sethless doing a communication storyline. I lived for this package. The photo on the wiki is not giving justice to this first look, the paper one.
The paper look is so cool. The paper looks really dope. But like, honestly, really like, this was like very galaxy brained of Sethless.
It was so
because
good.
It was like an interesting mix of like literal, but also commentary because of how she perceived like the future interpretation of like what the lack of communication and like the silencing more so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that paper look is so hot.
It's everything.
It is so hot, and it's cool how like she still makes all of them work in her own aesthetic, which is so particular and like so weird. But she found the through line and was able to sort of like manifest them all within her vision.
I lived for every single look. And I loved Anna saying about the 20th century look that it looked like binary, that the big thing around her was the 0 and she was the 1. And she was just like, I love how you interpreted something I didn't even think about.
Right. So slay.
And we talked about this before in Balls, how sometimes you look at a category maybe on a list of names and you think, these are probably related to each other. So I'm going to make these looks have a through line.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, the galaxy brain, her looking at 10th and 20th century and thinking, this is probably a ball. So I'm going to have a storyline for both of them. Yeah. Communication, because that's easy to make a look based off of, no matter what the last look ends up being. I will be able to make a story from communication. It was just very smart. I totally agreed with her win.
Yeah, it was like an aesthetic evolution, but then also like giving social commentary.
Yeah.
It was very her being like a
mind of a mastermind.
A decoration for the final look, like unable to communicate, but with the little like it was also very the textiles is very like it looked 3D printed, which felt very futuristic, or like our interpretation of futuristic.
And the painting on it too, the way that it gradiates on itself. It reminded me of, for any gamers that are listening, Subnautica. It reminded me a lot of the Subnautica aliens.
Well, and she gets bonus points for not just doing like silver metallic. Like, I'm sorry, it's 2025. Can we drop this like Judy Jetson hooker like
so Judy Jetson hooker.
So you know what I mean though? Like, I'm so tired of like it's year 3000. We're still seeing like silver lame. Yeah. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, come on. Anyways,
one last thing I want to say about this: it's the wrong shape. Rectangle girls of the world. This is what Chi-Chi wanted to do, and Derek wouldn't let her.
She's every girl in a circle she runs.
We are street meets. We have Estrella doing a military theme through each one of her looks.
I hate this package.
I hate it.
It's giving Marisa Prisa first look. It's giving Marisa Prisa and a Hitler and a Judy Jetson hooker. Literally. We want to talk about Judy Jetson hooker. This final look is so disrespectfully awful.
It's so disrespectful to Judy Jetson hookers.
It makes me want for you to edit out that high praise of Estrella at the beginning of the episode.
Should I retract my apology?
You need to no, you keep the apology, but you need to add a disclaimer, like a really heavy choppy voiceover where it's like, except for her Espana 3000 millennium look. What?
Yeah, this look is ugly. It is just
they're all ugly.
Every one of them is ugly. The first one is so Marisa Prisa. That second look is just violently evil. This just terrible military look with the plum hair and the black shoe and the red spiky acrylic nails. It's all so wrong. I don't like it.
It's giving, the three of them together are giving like a collection of disguises, like in like a sitcom. Like, this is like That's So Raven costumes. Yes. Like, this is when she tried to get into the Ren Fair. This is when she tried to get into Police Academy, but she didn't know what the uniform was. And this is when she tried to get into Comic-Con.
You said disguises, and my brain just short-circuited into the most devolved manner it could have ever. Let's go on to Jiriji, who doesn't really have much of a storyline other than some sort of retrofuturism. I appreciated that she went 60s with look 2 and 3.
Yes.
But I don't really care for any of the looks.
Okay, well, so like the angel look, she kind of like... The delivery was a little rough. It was a little choppy.
She mentioned it was supposed to be a Joan of Arc who was canonically trans, I think. From her research is what she said.
Love it.
And, I mean, the second look... I love the idea of this Swedish girl on vacation in Spain who's got her muff out.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of the Barbarella. Muffragette. Her muffragette look. And I love the idea of this Barbarella.
Her future look is probably my favorite, actually.
It's really cool. I love these snot green shoes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like very like, okay, and I know I said I hate that silver lame, but hers is the most tongue-in-cheek because it's like the neon green, the neon pink, like... Mm-hmm. The bubble of it all, and like the cone bra, Like, it's so stupid that I'm like, yeah.
It's all very
sure.
stupid. Yeah.
It's almost like a cartoon character from the year 3000.
Yeah. I feel like this looks like an extra in a sitcom to me. Like if Estrella is in disguise trying to get into these places, Jiriji's the tourist in the background that keeps asking her where the bathroom is every time she like sneaks into somewhere. Yeah. It's like the Swedish tourist who's like at the Ren Fair, who's like, "Excuse me, do you know where the bathroom is?" And then she shows up because she's a recurring character. She shows up again at the military academy, and she's like, "Do you know where the bathroom is? I'm so sorry to bother you."
Please.
And then at Comic-Con, she's like, "I can't believe I've seen you again. I'm looking for the bathroom." That's that character. Just recurring for no reason. And we're like, what is this?
Why That's so specific and so crazy, but I love it.
Marina did a marriage storyline in each one. And I don't know. I really liked the presentation of the first one. And everybody else did through lines. For most everybody did through lines. And I don't quite understand why I got so bored as it went on.
Marina's looks, they're all so much. It's giving like, how do I say this? It's even like, here's 12 of Sarah Jessica Parker's Met Gala looks. Because, you know, she's someone who always turns up for the Met Gala. But it's like, whoa, I forgot she wore this look in 1997. And like, whoa, I forgot she wore this look in 2003.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, look at that look she did in 2010. Like, it's just giving like a bunch of like random like
stuff.
Yeah.
It's just stuff.
And it's like none of them are like the most impressive look of the night. Like, they're all just like a bunch of like solid B's.
Yeah, she had good stories for each one of them. Like the first look is the Earth having to get married to the wheat god. The second look was a punk rock bride who just doesn't really care. She's chewing gum and sticking it in her hair. And the last one is bride and marriages don't matter in the future. It's just free love, which is why her ass is out, which was her excuse to not sew it back in because she was having a full mental breakdown about not being able to sew. And I don't know. I just found myself getting more and more bored each time. But I kept thinking, I should like this. I should appreciate that she's doing a through line, but I'm just not connecting with it.
It's just not clicking.
No, the first look I totally clicked with. I'm like, this feels so on brand for Marina, and then everything else didn't.
Yeah.
And again, I think there was totally valid reason, look-wise and storyline, why she could have been in the bottom with Diamante. We have Sharonne doing a money theme. So in the first one, she's really obsessed with her jewels, making that crazy face.
Yeah, crazy.
In the second look, she is obsessed with the euro. And then in the last one, she's obsessed with gold.
Okay, can I say? The future look is giving like Sugarcane's farm to table look.
I totally got
with
Sugarcane.
A she 3PO arm.
Yeah.
Because it's just that hay dress.
And the giant chocolate bar that is supposed to be gold.
It's such like that farm to table sewing challenge like hay dress.
It 100% is farm to table.
But then it has like the gold on top of it. Also, yeah, that is just like a gold chocolate bar.
She was the only one called safe. And I was like, I'm not mad at this.
I mean, it kind of makes sense because I feel like her middle look was very safe, strong, and the other two were questionable, could have gone in either direction.
Maybe they just weren't ready to give her negative critiques. Like they wanted to just give her one more week.
They're like, this isn't the week for her to be in the bottom.
Right.
It needs to be something more.
We can't do a bottom 4. And we'll just call her safe. So she like got to sit around in the workroom and be like, Sharonne, how you doing? How are you feeling about this week? I feel so good. But she couldn't sit in this look, so she's literally just standing for probably an hour and a half.
Awful.
I would have asked some production person. I'd be like, can you get me out of this? I want my robe.
I would have been that Latrice in that one Untucked where she's fully just like naked with a pillow in front of her.
Yes. I'm looking at my notes again because I can't remember if Benedita had any solid through line with her stories, and I don't think she did.
Not that I remember because it goes from like
The moon.
moon to like bride to salad.
First Lady La Collares, and then future fashion model. So she didn't have a storyline in hers.
No.
I lived for the moon. It was so
The
campy.
moon was super fun and cool. Yeah, loved that. I didn't really like the middle look
I
was
didn't
all.
like the middle either.
But I really love that sewn look.
That sewn look is really sexy.
It's super sexy. I love the short black hair. I love the mix of green and orange. It's so like she's one of the only ones that tried to do like an actual like
She went
future fashion, yeah.
Yeah.
And not like ironic like like
post-apocalypse.
Post-apocalyptic or like pseudo futuristic
Right.
or anything like or like retro futuristic. Like she did like an earnest like no, this is like futuristic fashion. And I appreciate it.
I really loved it. I thought it was so hot. And then this fascinator she constructed.
Yeah.
She just looks cool.
No, it just felt like fresh and different and like she just went for it and I appreciated that. She went the more conceptual futuristic idea and I like that.
Benedita's problem is that she is always just good enough, but is not breaking to perfect yet.
Yeah.
And I feel like with Sharonne and Cephalus here, I just am like, is she ever going to break past both of them? It like feels to me if, I don't know, Bimini was in the same cast as Viv and Dovima.
Yeah.
Who were just so good. And Bimini is so good. Like, that's what it kind of feels like to me because I can't think of any other analogy from any other season. I truly cannot think of a season in my brain where someone was so good.
Yeah.
But there were just two others in the room that were better. And that feels like here, like in look challenges, Cephalus is just always slightly stronger than Benedita. And in performance, Sharonne's just slightly stronger. But
yeah.
It's like 99.98 versus 99.99. You know, it's like a butthole hair.
Not a butthole hair
of a difference.
But I think it's also like a thing of like international or not international of early seasons too of like not even I'll say early seasons like we're running out of talent, but like there's just like there's so many amazing people out there. There's just such it speaks to what an incredible broad pool of talent there is.
Right.
Even just in this season, but just out there in general still to be tapped into of just like she could have won her like a season in another life. Like this girl could have won a season in another life.
Yeah.
Like there's like castfuls of winners competing at a time. Just like everyone's like just one girl's in a better moment to win than another and like
the stars align just right.
Exactly. But like they all have such star quality and they all are so brilliant in their own respect. Like, but it's just like how it works and shakes out for that one girl in that one moment, you know?
If you don't have star quality. So our winner is Cephalus. I totally agreed.
1,000%.
I mean, Benedita was so close. If that middle look was better, I think she may have. Because I mean, that moon was so bad, but I lived.
But it was also kind of camp.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of her drag. Her drag feels very campy to me.
Yeah.
Marina wasn't even given a shock like you might be at the bottom. It was the first two were called as the bottoms, Diamante and Estrella, and they just said, "Hey, you're safe. Going back."
Right.
She seemed kind of
But also it's because I feel like Sharonne actually did worse than Marina, but that's just my opinion.
T. I think it would have made a better storyline. I said it before. I'll say it again. Diamante and Marina should have been in the bottom to wrap up their story.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe Diamante would have sent her packing, but it was a ballad, so it seemed like Marina could have won this.
Don't underestimate the prowess of Marina.
I feel like she could have sent her home, and I think this would have been a really strong moment for both of them to tie off their story.
Yeah.
As soon as the song was announced, I'm going to try to say this right. Se nos rompió el amor by Rocio Guarado. And Big Javi goes, "Oh, wow." And I already knew this was like I I will survive. It was the same vibe for him.
If there's any song to do, this is the
it.
one.
I keep calling him Big Javi, like I refer to the boulets.
Yeah,
Big Javi had his nip out.
Why doesn't the big one just eat the little one? Yeah.
Yes. And they do every night. He had his nipple out.
You know, we're seeing a progression. He's gonna get slutty and sluttier. Season 4, he like fully has like his pubes out.
I'm ready. I'm so ready. He is everything to me. He and that pit crew guy with the fuzzy chest and the cross tattoo.
Yeah, babies.
Yeah, daddies. I really thought it was kind of wild to do a sad ballad at this point in the competition.
Also in these looks.
Looks.
Both in these looks doing this sad song. And I'm like, y'all both look the fool. Sorry.
They really did.
But they always get dramatic songs in any franchise. They always get dramatic songs when they look a fool.
Mm-hmm.
Lucy LaDuca running up that hill as the creature of the Black Lagoon.
Wasn't that when Selena had the long arms? And the fingers?
Oh my god, yeah, she had the giant crazy hands.
Is that one?
Yeah, and Lucy was the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Insanity.
Like, it's always just like they get a crazy song when they always get a dramatic song when they look crazy.
Crazy.
May she rest in peace, Trey Valentine, pregnant, dreaming a dream.
Yes.
It's always shit like that.
It's when someone looks a damn fool.
Yeah. Oh my god. Love Masisi as the gremlin.
Oh I love
doing
Masisi.
Celine Dion.
When you touch me like this?
Yeah, it's all gremlin back
like
to me
that?
now.
It's all gremlin back to me. Stop. We need to get Love Masisi on it. All Stars versus the World.
Can I just say,
I love Masisi. Love Masisi.
Slave
baby.
to the rhythm, baby.
God. Estrella is safe, and Supreme is like crying while eliminating Diamante. She chokes at one point.
She loves Diamante.
I kind of live for Diamante as well.
I mean, Diamante's fun. You're kind of rooting for Diamante. She's definitely an underdog.
Mm-hmm.
Her talent show is amazing, and there's something undeniable about her.
She has this spark about her that people like Georges have. So it's like you're young, but you connect with this in a performance level that I want to see more from you.
And like, obviously they're an incredibly gifted individual where it's like your talent is you're a performer, you belong on a stage, you're built to entertain large groups of people.
Yeah.
Like that is such an incredible blessing.
You were meant to do drag.
Yeah.
I accidentally scrolled down a little bit in the wiki. Bitch, what the fuck is this inflated to be look?
Yeah.
I haven't seen this yet.
We don't need to talk about that.
That's very nervous.
That's Mama, that's best drag.
That's the runway. I was looking at Teresa's look and okay, I'm going to have to include this in the visual part. The way that the jacket is cutting her off. Have you seen the meme of Mariah Carey skinny? Where she's like this big. It's the illusion
it's
of
giving
the coat.
She face-tuned herself crazy. Like she has two friends to the right of her and they're blown out because of it.
It's the illusion of it all.
It's like her dog's next to her in the photo and her dog is like warped. Yeah.
That wraps us up for part 2 of Drag Race Espana season 2. I know we kind of talked about this before, but I'm wondering if we even need to do a 4th part. Like if we just do the next 4 episodes, because
we might be able to.
There's a reunion and a coronation, and I don't think those are necessary.
I think we can really glide through those. We're here to talk about the meat. We're here to talk about the competition.
And we're at top 6, so there's only 4 episodes competitively left.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my god, top 8.
Oh my god. Any controversial opinions about this segment?
Well, you reacted like it was controversial. I said that I think that that Sharonne did worse than Marina in the ball.
I mean, it is pretty spicy.
Maybe it's just because I like Marina, and I also feel like Sharonne's so great that I don't feel bad taking the piss out of her a little bit. Fair. But, there's not much controversial to say about this season because I feel like a lot plays out how it feels like it should.
Yeah.
Or at least like because everything happens the way it does, it feels like divine time. Like everything happens in a divine way.
Sure. I hear you. I don't think I have any either. Other than I think Diamante and Marina should have lip synced this week.
True, to wrap that up with a nice little bow. No, I agree.
And I think Marina would have sent her packing.
Slay.
She would have. I mean, a ballad, there's no way Marina would have flopped that.
Yeah.
Marina, na.
Marina, na.
Next week, we will continue chatting about Drag Race Espana Season 2. Thank you so much for listening. Remember, you're doing a great job. You're doing the best you can, and that is all that you can do. Goodbye.
Goodbye.